Welcome to the farm.
Welcome back to the farm. I'm Dana from Just Kate State Farm, and today we're going to be working on finishing our second batch of maple syrup. We're going to be doing it outside, getting it closer to that finished product. We're going to be using our turkey boiler, some propane to boil the maple sap down to roughly 217 degrees. Ideally you want to get to 219 to be the finished syrup. So we're going to boil most of it off here so all that moisture can stay outside and not be trapped inside our house. So we're going to get our propane started up here. So looking at the color of this, we do have quite a ways to go yet. It's still fairly light. But doing this outside, we'll be able to boil off a lot more of this moisture more quickly. Alright, so we have a pretty nice boil going on the maple sap. So let's take a temperature reading and see how far we've gone. Alright, so I had to take the reading off the camera. The steam from the sap is just fogging up my glasses. It's fogging up the display on the thermometer, but we are at 212 degrees, so that is just at boiling point. So we have a long ways to go to get to that 217 temperature that I like to get to before I bring it into the house. So we'll keep monitoring and check back. Alright, so we reached 216 degrees. I wanted to get to 217, but it is just too cold outside, and we're out of the sun now, so everything just is feeling more cold. So we're just gonna pull this now, bring it into the house, and finish it off on the stove.
It's a nice color. Looking really good.
Alright, so we brought it inside onto the stove. We got it back up to a boil, and we're currently at 216.5. So went up 0.5 degrees since outside. So we'll keep this going, monitor it until it gets to 219, and then we'll show you how we take it off, filter it, and then bottle it. Alright, so we're at 218.3, so we're really close to that 219. It could take a while yet, or it could go really quickly. So we're just going to monitor it real closely and then get ready to filter it off into our large mason jars, and then we'll show you the final result. Okay, so we just hit 219. I'm just going to wait a moment, make sure that that temperature holds. Sometimes the temperatures will kind of bounce as they're transitioning to the next higher temp, so we'll just make sure it's holding before we pull it. I think we're going to be good. Yeah, it's holding at that 219, so we'll take this off the burner and then get it filtered.
That one's okay.
So we have 2 filters here, so we double filter it. We also filter it while we put it in the evaporator as well. So it's important that you use the filter when the syrup is hot, so it can filter through the filter. If it's cold syrup, it doesn't sit. It'll just sit in the filter. It's not going to flow through it.
And what we're doing is we're filtering out any impurities and any sugar that may have granulated. So we get a nice, smooth, consistent syrup.
So you can kind of see how it's flowing out.
It doesn't filter very fast because it is a syrup even with it hot.
Okay, it's probably good.
Smells good.
Looks good. Alright, so what we're going to do next is, since we have 2 filters here, you can see how slowly it's now trickling out. We're going to put this next filter underneath. So now there's 3, and then we're going to take out this inner filter, the one that's been catching everything, so that the next 2 filters can start filtering better. Can you hold the outside ones? So they don't hold the outside filter. So then we'll take this one, we'll allow the sap to flow into the 2 filters that really haven't been like catching things. So that way it has better flow. So now you can see that much more flow coming out.
So now we got all the filtering done. We can put it in our jars, and hopefully I can do this without burning myself.
Okay.
So right now we're going to do a taste test to see how it tastes.
Alright, so you can just dip it in. Okay, we'll let it cool off a bit. Alright, ready?
Here we go.
That is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
Really
So
good.
good.
So here's the fruits of our labor. Whole season right in front of us.
Many hours.
Many hours. And we actually got more than I thought we were going to, based on the amount of sap we were collecting. I'm pretty happy with what we got.
I thought it was going to be a lot less. Being how short our season was, we weren't getting like the full 5-gallon buckets each time we were collecting like we did last year. So kind of very happy with what we got this year. Wish it was more, but better than we thought.
So normally we would do is we would take all of our syrup and we'd blend it all together and we just have one syrup batch for the whole year. That's just the flavor we're going to get. This year we wanted to do 3 different boils so we could kind of show the difference in color from the first boil to our last boil. So here's a picture that better illustrates the change the syrup goes throughout the season. The one on the left is the first boil, the one on the right is our 3rd boil that we did. And I think it's pretty evident the color change and how the syrup changes. I also wanted to take a second to talk about our season and why we kind of come to the conclusion it wasn't as good as we've had in the past. And I think the biggest reason is we weren't able to tap at one of the properties we did last year, which was our most productive property. So I think that hit us pretty hard. Also, we went from being able to have 52 taps to 36 taps. We did tap an additional property, but it just didn't make up the property that we weren't able to tap at. However, I still think that the production at the farm and the neighbors was less than it had been in the past. So I think all those factors combined contributed to the season we had. And then as the season goes, like this is a more sweet, then this becomes more bitter.
But this particular batch is not bitter. If we were to keep going into the season, it would turn into a more of a bitter batch, and then that turns into your molasses. So
Right.
we cut it off right when you should.
Right.
So, but yeah, I don't know the technical grades. There's like grade A, grade B for your syrups. I don't know exactly what they are, but this middle one would be more so like what you get in a grocery store. I think it's a grade B, I think is normally what you get. But your grade A, I think, is like your dessert syrup, they call it. So you would put it in like your ice creams or like a dessert type syrup.
I just go by grade yummy.
So yeah, I'm happy the season's over. We can move on to our next spring projects and things to keep moving forward on the homestead.
We do still have a little bit more coming on maple. We're gonna do some powder, some sugar, and I think Dana's gonna do some candy this year.
Doing maple candy for the first time. I've heard about it, never took the time to learn it, and so far my little taste tests are amazing. So,
Great.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for watching. If you found this enjoyable, please give it a thumbs up, a like.
Subscribe to the channel. It helps expose our channel to so many more people who might find what we're doing interesting, inspiring them, and wanting them to learn more about being self-sufficient.
All right, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.